Yeah, so I just had the tasting, the tasting of macadamia nuts, and just settling in, having a hot chocolate. In fact, yeah. Cheers. Coupled with some wedges, sweet potato wedges. Well, it was kind of the only a vegetarian kind of option, at least in terms of the sort of the main meals. Um, it's a good place, yeah. Worth a visit. Through Bundaberg, maybe go to the Bundaberg Barrel, maybe the Bundaberg Rum Tour, and Macadamia Australia. You do it all. So, yeah, before I get into my piece of artwork, I'll get onto that in a minute. Yes, so I was looking at the tennis. So this feed came up on the news. What I use? Not 9MSN in terms of the longest streaks in terms of matches won. I think Roger Federer 6, but number one Bjorn Borg. Yeah, I don't know. Bjorn Borg was before, obviously, the Barron's time, probably before most of you. How good was Borg? Yeah, he won something like 6 Wimbledon and 6 French. So I don't know, why did he sort of win less number of US or Australian? I don't know. It's interesting, isn't it? And of course, he holds that record for so he just went through a patch, didn't he? Well, he just, I don't know, absolutely dominated. Maybe he's just a little bit streaky in terms of his performance. Played very good tennis. Maybe played very good tennis when it came to Wimbledon and the French Open. In fact, yeah. So maybe Wimbledon French. Yeah, they're back to back. So that's only 3-week gap now, but was a 2-week gap. Maybe outside of that, yeah, maybe just couldn't play. Maybe seasonal. Maybe location. I don't know. So pretty interesting. So Bjorn Borg, certainly up there as one of the best players, potential GOAT. But I think Djokovic, Nadal can the streaks. You have to look at this though. Nadal probably became prior to the French, just dominating on clay though probably. And of course Djokovic, he pretty much just plays hardcourt anyway. So if Federer was just able to play in grass, well, I don't know what would his streak have been. See what I mean? Or a Pete Sampras for that matter. So you have to look at it in terms of the surface, I think, as well. And yes, Ash Barty. Well, yeah, I don't know. I have to look at what her streak was. But just her dominance as number one over such a long period of time when she was playing tennis. Maybe it just took a long time to get to that number one, although she was playing cricket or test cricket. But once she became number one, she maintained that ranking until, of course, she retired 22, just after winning the Australian ranked number one. Only player to retire ranked number one. The other player, of course, being Henin, Justine Henin Arden. Very good, of course, on clay. Interesting stuff, yeah. Now, getting onto my piece of artwork. So, yeah, they had this. Oh, you can see the. Yeah, so I just sort of sat inside, but you can see sort of outside. They got the. I don't know. I'm assuming they're macadamia trees. I'd have to ask. But those trees out there, I guess they're macadamia trees, but it is Macadamia Australia. Everything macadamia. Yeah, now getting onto this art piece, since you guys are so interested in the Barron's art. So, yeah, it's kind of a kid's thing, but and the Barron, yeah, always has to make an art piece out of everything. So you can see this sort of art piece. So just looking at here, I've got name McBaron, Macadamia McBaron, and I've also put in just a few mass things here. I've put in anyone nuts. I'll put in anyone nuts in and put a question mark. I've got here. I put in the number 28. 28, of course, being a perfect number. I put 0 over 0 equals a half question mark, which typically occurs in tennis. In tennis, it's undefined. When you graph a game of tennis using a simplified function using absorbing Markov chains, you get a singularity or a non-linear something. Singularity at p equals a half. And of course, the denominator is 0, but because the numerator is 0, you get 0 over 0 equaling a half. And so I'll put a question mark there. And also, I just put in integral log x and natural log x dx. Didn't actually, what does that equal? Does that equal 1 over, I think that equals 1 over x, but I didn't give the answer. But I've also put in, I should carry around some blue tack, but I've put in the minuscule ant. I just put my card with the minuscule ant. So when I leave this on the table, I guess it'll get thrown out. But the point is that they'll see this minuscule ant. I don't know, they might become intrigued and actually read it. I mean, why would someone go to the effort to do this kind of, ridiculous art piece of, anyone nuts and just, math symbols and McBaron? I mean, and then put in this card, which kind of looks like a business card, and I had to create holes in the paper so it doesn't kind of, I should carry around blue tack. Blue tack could be pretty practical for when I, need to put this up in a post or whatever. But anyway, I put in this musical ant, this poem, and so I guess I'll read the poem. Just the fact that it's kind of, it's kind of intriguing, isn't it? And I don't know, they may turn the card over and see, with my contact details. It looks like I'm kind of advertising, but I'm not really advertising at all. Having said that, the strategic game site's now been revamped. You can go to it, go to strategicgames.com.au, and I've got now a picture of tennis. I've got a tennis court rather than that picture of gambling. Just we want to create the tennis. The tennis is going to be the overall theme on these strategic games, although it is sport, gambling, conflicts, or sort of game theory. But tennis, most of the products are going to come from tennis, and that's why I changed the picture. I've also got a link to the YouTube channel as well. So we're progressing. Now the other thing is, yes, macadamia. Now they've got a picture of it looks like an academic, doesn't it? It looks like in fact, it is an academic of a nut. It's a nut that looks like an academic. And if you look at macadamia, you can get the word academia, or I was just thinking that is academic. Is that an EM or an AM? I don't know. But anyway, you can pretty much get the word academia. Yeah, I think it's an AM. Yeah, so you can get academia out of macadamia, which is why they've got an academic as a nut. I don't know if people will pick up on that. The Baron took the Baron kind of a while to realise that kind of. In fact, they've got here. Yes, no, they've got here on this. They've got some books here, and they've got Mac academics. Yeah, so I guess when you start reading, but we're talking kids at the end of the day. I mean, adults are not going to read this. It's going to be kids grabbing this piece of paper, getting a few pencils, and just scribbling. They're not going to realise the connection anyway. They've also got Macnomics, as in economics. They've got macadamia healthy, nuts are, but the Baron's put in anyone nuts. Yeah, I don't think anyone would have thought of that. Along with the minuscule ant, and they've just got here a cool macadamia, fact number 3. So they're sort of referring to cool academia, fact number 3, using that sort of macadamia pun. And they've got macadamias are a superfood. They're full of omega-7, which is great for your brain. Well, I'm sure they should be writing stuff like that. I mean, do they really know? I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe it is, but I don't know. Maybe it's some sort of one parameter model. I mean, I don't know. I mean, people argue that fish has, got a lot of omega-7, therefore it's good for the brain. Well, and you can see the problem with meat. They can be one parameter models, but nevertheless, that's what is written. So yeah, it's pretty good. I don't know. Maybe I should just keep a flyer just for, I don't know, maybe just for the sake of it, or maybe get a stamp. I don't know, or maybe get the manager or something just to sign their name or something. I don't know, but yeah, I think it's worth visiting anyway. It's just the overall complex, and maybe getting one of these pieces of paper and just, I don't know, just doing some artwork of whatever, like the Baron done, or McBaron. No pun. Okay, so leave it there. Got to get back to my fries with some sweet chili sauce and sour cream and hot chocolate or hot choco. Okay, that was the Baron Breaks. Anyone nuts?